this show in February for Black History Month, and we really loved it, so we decided to do it again. This time our theme is in summertime, and we're focusing on Black lives during the summer. So I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Naked backs massaged by the grass as laughs skip halfway across a pond and stop. Each rock toss follows along the already carved out path. Each splash drawing me closer to her like a painter. The sun just warm enough to chase her sweat from behind her right ear to the perfectly placed birthmark on her chest. My eyes running a close second as minutes turn to hours. Time flying quicker than the mosquito she's too slow to swat. She stops and says, "My sense of humor is delicious, because I can make her crack up wine and cheese like a photo over crackers, wine and cheese. She puts my mind at ease. Easily her best trait, because even when we trade silence, it's beautiful. So tell me some of your memories as my heart beats rhythmically to the tempo of curiosity, unconsciously throwing caution to the wind for the sake of your lips. Your kiss is earth-shattering. Between the collision of anticipation and what it really is leaves Hiroshima to look like some backyard science experiment. Your eyes are pyramids, diamonds we've been trained to only see half of, monuments erected in celebration of greatness, worthy of praises and duplication when necessary. It'd be too cliche to speak about how cold things would be without you. So let's breeze past that point, shall we? How we got here may not be the same way we return. A gust of wind from August can easily remind you how temporary temperature is. So whether or not weather permits it, I'll meet you right back here, same time next year, because you're my summertime love, not just some summertime love.
Between holding on and letting go, I wonder how you know the difference. It must be something like the difference between heaven and hell, but how in advance can you tell? If letting go is saying no, what is holding on saying? Come. Can anyone be held? Can I? The impossible conundrum, the closed circle. Why does lightning strike this house and not another? Or is it true that love is blind until challenged by the drawbridge of the mind? But saying that, one's forced to see one's definitions as unreal. We do not know enough about the mind or how the conundrum of the imagination dictates, discovers, or can dismember what we feel or what we find. Perhaps one must learn to trust one's terror. The holding on, letting go is error. The lightning has no choice. The whirlwind has one voice.
And welcome back to Who's Your Daddy?
Father number one,
Yes.
what would you give me as an allowance?
Are we talking monthly or weekly allowance?
Weekly.
Weekly, I think $15 will do. $15 is good. You know, take yourself to the store, get you some chips and soda. I think that's good.
Father number two,
You're 18, right?
yeah,
You said weekly?
yes.
That sounds like a paycheck to me. Sounds like you need to just go get yourself a job. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Father number two, what would you do if I went on a date with a boy?
I don't see a problem with it as long as you bring them by the house. We can sit down and talk for a little bit and make sure we have an appropriate time for you to get back home.
Father number one,
Date with a boy? What you need to go on a date with a boy for? You're going to be spending so much time with me. We can go on a date. What do you mean? I mean, that's crazy.
okay. Next question. Father number one, if I got a bad grade, how would you punish me?
Wait, did you say father number one?
Yes.
Bad grade? I don't know what that is. A bad grade. Next question.
Father number two,
I know you can't see me right now, but I got this a very nice leather belt here for you. See, I like straight A's in my household.
okay. Father number one, if I wanted to watch a marathon of my favorite show, America's Next Top Model, would you watch it with me?
Wait, did you say America's Next Top Model?
Yeah.
Are we gonna binge watch America's Next Top Model, you know, like on Netflix, one after the other, or are we just, you know, watching a particular
Season after season.
Season after season?
Yes. Marathon.
Every episode? Then I'm in there, I got you, that's my show.
Father number two,
Doesn't that show come on Mondays? I mean, that's Monday Night Football. I don't know how we're going to work that out. Unless, is it that swimsuit season? Oh, Tyler's flying behind. Oh, my God.
okay. On a serious note, Father number one, will you support me if I choose a path that's different from the one you originally mapped out for me?
Will I support you? Of course. I have your back. 100%. Pick me.
Father number two,
I mean, I don't see any reason for you taking a different path that I had set for you, but as any good father would do, of course I'll support you 100%. I don't see no reason why not.
Wow, that was wonderful. We'll be right back.
Too impatient to place bait on hooks. Piercing wiggly worms, pulling back, casting away, the splashing attracts the curious. The sound the fish's prey makes before it hits the calm lake, peacefully we wait. Swiping at mosquitoes on occasion, too much jittering, and you'll scare them away. Here, fishy, fishy, I whisper to the murky waters. On a boat with my brother and grandfather, and catch after catch they make while I just think of the city, no fish swim my way. Maybe I wasn't made for this. Pondering away into the Moby Dick of mighty fish swims my way, and you could call him the king of this lake. I didn't care at first, but this game I must play so swiftly. I adjusted to my surroundings and pulled a fish out of water, and sometimes I feel like that fish out of water, fighting for faith before I faint after taking the wrong bait, afraid my life is just a catch. But what's the catch? I can't play fetch for success anymore. If I want to eat, I have to embrace death at the door. I know a man who lived because he did what he wanted. 84 years of life and stubbornness, cigarettes, casinos, and fishing trips. I didn't understand when I was younger, but my little brother did. Teach him at the fishing, he can eat till death. All it takes is patience, and my grandfather made it to an astounding age and taught me how to catch what was coming my way, the big fish. Either get caught or swim to safety, and we've all been a little hungry lately. Will you win the race in a game of who can be the sneakiest, the sleekest? Nibble at the worm with persistence, but if you're not quick enough to avoid the hook, you'll get shook right out of your environment and learn that you can't rumble in the jungle. Survivalists, the wise, mastered patience, and sometimes survival isn't fit for the greatest fighter, but for the provider. So swing low and wide, but don't let your pride get you got. If you the big fish or not, know you must play with patience. 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 Balancing buoyantly on a boat. Rocking waters, waving at insects, fishing for my life with glaring yellow sun rays in my eyes. I learned the art of fishing from my grandfather and touched the fragile face of patience just in time to hold these lessons. 1, don't waste away doing anything that won't feed you, because in this life, time, it's limited. 2, if you want to eat, you don't have to be the greatest fisherman. You just need to have the greatest tools. 3, you must learn how to pierce a silver hook through a worried worm. Be mindful of the bloodstains on your fingers. 4, perfect how to cast a pole without snagging yourself or anyone else, because fishing can become dangerous. And finally, 5, you must accept the fact that you'll have to pull fish out of water or risk drowning in stomach cramps and starvation. And when your line gets tangled, remember, you must unravel it with patience.
So, what you got planned for this summer?
I'm gonna head back to the south side and chill with my parents.
Oh my god, the south side? I don't know why, but I've always loved the idea of the south side in summer when it's so hot outside.
Really?
I'm guessing you don't have much experience with the police?
No. But sometimes I like to close my eyes and imagine what it'd be like when summer does come. Bees will buzz.
This is your friend.
No.
Black kids will be running from the fuzz.
We'll all be doing what college kids do in summer.
You introduced me to her.
A drink
You're the
in
reason
my
you bumped
hand,
into her.
posting it all on Instagram, probably getting gorgeously tanned in
More like
summer.
sunburn.
I'll finally have a summer fling who is toned and strong and tall, and dump his ass when I find someone better to date in fall. And I can't wait to see what my Facebook friends think of me.
Who's such a hot
Just
friend?
imagine how much cooler I'll be in summer. Da-da.
Oh, she's dancing.
Fireworks and booze are both so intense. Put them together, it just makes sense. Boom! Panama City Beach is the place to be. The last time I was there, I got great memories. I like to hold on to daydreams, relaxing in the summertime, just laughing at me.
Maybe we should just come.
Oh, the sky will be blue, and we'll all get matching tattoos.
Matching up? Hell no.
When I finally do what college kids do
You know what? I'm gonna
in
tell you.
summer.
Don't you dare.
In summer.
Have you ever tried to grab the wind? Have you ever tried to redirect the wave? No? No? That's okay. Even the most phony of emotions can't escape the page. I learned that at a young age. I've been waiting 23,760 hours to see you. That's 990 days. Not saying I lack strength, but that translates to 119 weeks. Countless valleys and peaks, not knowing where you were or who you were to someone else, and contemplating if there ever was and if there ever should be a we. You had me. Hard. And I hardly knew what to do with you. I was a boy when we met, ignorant to the similarities within the grotesque and the beautiful, but now that I've grown, I know love is you, the spontaneous and the usual, you, who have cured me of my nervousness, you, serving as a sieve to help me sift through my grief to find peace. You are tranquility in the midst of tumultuous seas. You are the melody to a blind man and the sunrise to a deaf one, the tongue of a porn star, yet the touch of a nun, the rhythm of an untamed lake that dances over rocks that lay afraid, that craving I get to say what's on my mind, even at the worst times, like try this on for size. Lonely black boy dreams, heavenly woman smiles back, moments lost in time, or table set for two, damn it, I did it again, more waffles for me, or when I see you, though. Message seen at 10:30. 2 days later, hi. This back and forth is backwards for the simple fact. It's simple math. When a 10 holds another 10 down, they won. My mother always told me it was a woman's prerogative to change her mind. My father instructed me, always mind her change. Even if it's a minor change, that change meant something. Hence, when I got wind of your interacting with other men in my absence, I didn't take it as you acting out. Why? How? Because I'm a man of expansion, so why should I stand in her way? This is a common pain. Thus, even when I have a good day, my heart is 3 times frozen over. Does that make me ice cubed? This feud that few understand between me and you is truly starting to intrude upon my routine. Few things touch me the way you do. Few things rub me the way you do. So to those of you who haven't had the pleasure of her presence, I don't expect y'all to get it. But to those of you who have, you've seen my better half. I met this girl when I was 10 years old, and what I love most, she had so much soul. She was old school when I was just a shorty, didn't know throughout my life she would be there for me.
Did any of y'all bring food?
Happy 4th of
Any of y'all?
You didn't bring no mac and cheese?
Did you bring any food? Happy 4th of
The
July.
food stamps come on the 5th.
You know what? Fellow citizens, excuse me. Allow me to say. Why am I called upon to speak here today?
I don't know.
What do I or those I represent to do with your national independence? Do the great principles of political justice and natural freedom embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? Am I therefore called upon to bring our humble offering to the national altar, to confess the benefits and express divine gratitude resulting in your independence to us? This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn. Do you mean to mock me, citizens, by asking me to speak here today? fellow citizens, above your national tumultuous joy, I hear the mournful wails of millions whose chains, heavy and grievous yesterday, are today rendered more intolerable by your jubilee shouts. I shall see today from the slave's point of view. I shall see today from the slave's point of view. Whether we look to the declarations of the past or the professions of the present, the conduct of this character seems equally grotesque and revolting. America is false to its past, false to its present, and solemnly binds herself to be false to the future. What to the American slave is the 4th of July? What to the Native American is your 4th of July? What to the Latino Americans is your 4th of July? What to the Japanese, the Chinese, Korean, what to all of my glorious people of color is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reminds him above all others in the year of the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is a constant victim.
Oh my God, are those fireworks?
All I see is fireworks. All I see is fireworks. Every night there's fireworks. Every night there's fireworks. Taking off like fireworks. Taking off how fireworks. Is your independence equivalent to one shot or a firework? The system's bent and we're conditioned to think the only way to come up is to sell work, but how could you live knowing you could love no one but her? Freedom we've conspired, often been hired to retire, who cannot uphold the gospel truth, and you've been used, left filthy in the feces of the elite without gloves or shoes, and I couldn't eat my food with dirty hands, so scrub yours clean until they bleed. They finally release the cure to HIV after spreading it among the melanin-enriched peoples like syphilis or malaria. West Nile from the great Nile, the West lies. Confusion arises, diffusion arrives, so I speak from inside because light always seems to see through our instincts. Hid the answers our ancestors knew before question was construed. How dare you say Africans bred with monkeys to formulate such diseases? These people have hung us, strung us, breathless from bridges, creating ridges on the surface of the universe, bringing the tide in. Watch and listen as the rippling waves wash away the silent pleas for help. 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 Some drown to avoid captivity, while others wash ashore, pick cotton and rice, indigo and tobacco, sugar cane to their backs broken. I see them, I dream her, and I dream him, carrying the word, wondering what could have been. Our people ravaged into a life of sin, bent over backwards and branded like pigs, put on the front line, and we stood tall like men. Even our women taught the history of our misery. We never searched to learn about the Moors. Abraham Lincoln was not the man who opened the door. We praise these creatures while they play us like fools, but stop sifting through dirt for diamonds and hold on to your jewels, because we all have a little bit more growing to do. So plant a seed or two and spread with your roots, sprout, and see who will bloom. Be aware of what you consume. I don't eat no meat because they are poisoning our food. The pesticides inside have tainted our minds, making us blind to the fact that they are feeding our children diabetes. We must cleanse our bodies of all that is impure and untrue, enlighten our minds and finish school. It ain't for everybody, but niggas gotta do what niggas gotta do, going on and on, squeezing with sweaty palms. We live in a world where you learn how to shoot before you read, where you sell nickels and dimes but won't get degrees, the best at math and everybody can see, but you work 5 to 5 and never succeed and end up spending all your earnings on American flags made by the Chinese. It's greed. Happy 4th of July. What's the difference between the sound of a gunshot and a firework? The dead body. Welcome to America, where the 4th of July can be mistaken for Independence Day and August 2nd is forgotten like black fathers' love rotting in the penitentiary. We are victims. Midwifed into a pool filled with crude oil and prescription pills, bartered, then traded, 13% off, irreversible deal, and it's real. So now we must divide and conquer, protecting our honor, plotting to kill, mastering our skills, preparing for tomorrow so we can show master how we destroy what we build. All I see is fireworks. All I see is fireworks. Every night there's fireworks. Every night there's fireworks. Taking off like fireworks. Taking off how fireworks.
A friend is hard to press charges against.
If you know him, you must have wanted it.
A misunderstanding?
You know these things happen.
I'm sure you didn't suggest.
Had you been drinking?
A rapist is always to be a stranger to be legitimate. Someone you never saw. A man with obvious problems.
Pin-up attached to the inside of his lapel.
Ticket stubs from porno flicks in his pocket.
A little dick.
Or a strong mother.
Or just a brutal version.
But have you been seen in public with him? Dance one dance, kissed him goodbye lightly?
With closed mouth.
Pressing charges would be just as hard as keeping your legs closed while 5 fools try to run a train on you.
Man, these men friends of ours who smile nice, stay employed, take us out to dinner.
Lock the door behind you.
With fist and face to fuck.
Who make elaborate Mediterranean dinners and let the art ensemble carry away all ethical burdens while they invite a couple of friends over to have you, are suffering from the latent rapist bravado, and we are left with the scars.
Being betrayed by men who know us.
And expect, like the stranger we always thought was coming.
That we will submit.
We must have known.
Women relinquish all personal rights in the presence of a man who apparently could be considered a rapist.
Especially if he had been considered a friend.
He is no less worthy of being beat within an inch of his life, being publicly ridiculed, having 2 fists shoved up his ass.
Man, a stranger he always thought it would be.
They never showed up.
As it turns out, the nature of rape has changed.
We can now meet them in circles we frequent for companionship.
We see them at the coffee house.
With someone else we know.
We can even have them over for dinner and get raped in our own houses by invitation.
A
friend.
In the past decade alone, January 24th, 2004, Timothy Stansberry, Brooklyn, New York, unarmed. November 25th, 2006, Sean Bell, Queens, New York, unarmed. January 1, 2009, Oscar Grant, Oakland, California, unarmed. January 29th, 2010, Aaron Campbell, Portland, Oregon, unarmed. July 18th, 2011, Alonzo Ashley, Denver, Colorado, unarmed. March 7th, 2012, Wendell Allen, New Orleans, Louisiana, unarmed. September 14th, 2013, Jonathan Farrell, Charlotte, North Carolina, unarmed. July 17th, 2014, Eric Garner, Staten Island, New York, unarmed. August 9th, 2014, Michael Brown, Ferguson, Missouri, unarmed.
For a moment now, I've lost my grip on trying to understand it all. And with everything occurring, how am I supposed to make sense of it all? Being blindsided by the truth, though the truth is still just in front of us all. So why are we still reciting the same story with new characters but still the same villain? How many altered versions of this nightmare do we have to see before we finally slip away into our sleep and forever be lost in the unknown realm of life because we have no knowledge of what life is or what its true value is? Scared to be wrong, but even more scared to be right, to be stepping out of the norm in fear of being judged when judgment is only an opinion and not necessarily the truth, but the truth is we are victims of our own suppression, our inability to breathe the same air as the ones that share the same value as us. So if we can't see the value that we hold, how do we expect the enemy to see reason and wanting to share the same air as us? So see, it is time that we wake up from this hypnosis that they placed us in on those days on the plantation, using biblical scriptures to chain our minds, believing that we are only property waiting to be given value. See, it starts by breaking the cycle of ignorance and diffusing the perception that we are fearful. It is time that we stand, talk, and dress like women and men and not entertainers. It is time that we bring back honor to a culture that has been broken and neglected to be put back together. It is time that we hold these clowns who believe that they are perfect representation of us accountable, because the death of our brothers can no longer long ago in vain. Blink and you'll be next, pressed up against the concrete as each breath becomes shorter and shorter. Blink and you'll be next, taking 50 to the heart because your country has never loved you. Blink and you'll be next, walking home. Freeze as you hit the ground, clenching to stop the bleeding, hands drenched in blood. Surely we've been dying faster than ever before. And so blatantly they show it. Broadcast all around the world. Our brothers are no longer branded, nor are they hanging from branches like strange fruit. They are cowardly murdered in cold blood, an angel in the form of a bullet. So tell me, how vivid must the picture be for you to see the reality? For while they murdered our kings and now they're targeting each and every young prince of ours, our culture has never seen peace. This country.
I've been riding around with my blood on my lips, with the sun in my eyes and my gun on my hip. Paranoia on my mind, got my mind on the fritz, and a lot of niggas dying, so my 9 with the shits. I've been riding around with my blood on my lips, with the sun in my eyes and my gun on my hip. Paranoia on my mind, got my mind on the fritz, and a lot of niggas dying, so my 9 with the shits.
Move to the neighborhood. I bet they don't stay for good. Watch. Somebody will probably steal Daddy's rollie and call it the neighborhood watch. I pray for a safer hood with my paper good watch. Captain Saverhood, Hood Savior, baby boy, still getting ID for swishing.
Mama still wash my clothes.
Still with the save money militia.
I'ma still watch my bros.
Trapped in the bottom of the map with a little bit of rock and a little bit of rap. That and a literary knack and a little shitty Mac and like literally Jack.
I've been riding around with my blood on my lips, with the sun in my eyes and my gun on my hip. Paranoia on my mind, got my mind on the fritz, and a lot of niggas dying, so my 9 with the shits. I've been riding around with my blood on my lips, with the sun in my eyes and my gun on my hip. Paranoia on my mind, got my mind on the fritz, and a lot of niggas dying, so my 9 with the shits.
They murking kids here. They murder kids here. Why you think they don't talk about it? They deserted us here. Where the fuck is Matt Lauer at? Somebody get Katie Couric in here. Probably scared of all the refugees. Look like we had a fucking hurricane here. And they'll be shooting whether it's dark or not. I mean, the days is pretty dark a lot. But down here, it's easier to find a gun than it is to find a fucking parking spot. And I got no love for the opposition, specifically a cop position, because they never been in our position getting violations from the nation, correlating you dry snitch.
I've been riding around with my blood on my lips, with the sun in my eyes and my gun on my hip. Paranoia on my mind, got my mind on the fritz, and a lot of niggas dying, so my 9 with the shits. I know you scared, you should ask us if we scared too. I know you scared, me too. I know you scared, you should ask us if we scared too. If you was there and we just knew you cared too.
It just got warm out. Just that shit that I've been warned about. I hope that it storms in the morning. I hope that it's pouring out. I hate crowded beaches. I hate the sound of fireworks. And I ponder what's worse between knowing it's over and dying first.
Cause everybody dies in the summer. Wanna say your goodbyes, tell them while it's spring. I heard everybody's dying in the summer. So pray to God for a little more spring. I know you scared. You should ask us if we scared too. If you was there, and we just knew you cared too.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it is. It's been too hard living, and I'm afraid to die. Oh, but I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. 'Cause it's been a long time know change gonna come. Oh, yes it is. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it is.
As I travel backwards through time, I search to rescue all my heroes. And I find myself in the Underground Railroad standing side by side with Henrietta Tubman. I see decides whether to go left or right. And as the barking dogs approach from the south, I rub the clothes of 1,000 slaves on my body, hand her a flashlight, and I run. I run until I get to southern Mississippi in mid-1950s, and I'm standing on the front of porch of Emmett Till's house. Just before 2 a.m., before they dragged him out of his bed, and instead of Emmett being found dead, there was 4 decapitated whiteheads. And as I'm standing here drenched in blood, I can hear the dogs barking again. So I run. I run until I get to spring 1963, and I'm in Jackson, Mississippi, and it's June 11, 1963, and I'm standing on the front porch.
Come on, Paul.
And I can hear the sounds of the dogs barking again. So I run. I run until I get to Jackson, Mississippi, and it's June 11, 1963, and I'm standing in the bushes with this white man in front of me. So I peek over his shoulder and I can see what he sees, so I scream, "Mecca, look out!" And from a distant car I can hear the shouts, "You better run, nigga." So I run. I run until I get to Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm peeking through a church basement window. 4 little girls, 4 little worlds, and I notice I'm standing next to a box and I can hear the southern sounds of a TikTok. So I open it up to cut the red wire to the bottom and make it stop, and I can hear him coming from up the block again. "You better run, nigga." So I run. I run until I get to the night of February 21st, 1965, and I'm standing backstage in the Manhattan Auto Ballroom trying to explain to Malcolm. Elijah Muhammad has sent 4 of his goons, and I say, "Yes, Malcolm, change is gonna come, but it don't gotta be this soon." And that's when I grab the few of Malcolm's security people, and we cleared out the whole motherfucking room, and all of a sudden the CIA showed up screaming, "You better run, nigga." So I run. I run until I get to Memphis, Tennessee, and it's April 4th, 1968, and I'm standing in front of the Lorraine Motel with Dr. Martin Luther King, and shots begin to ring, and I just don't want to lift every voice and sing, so I shot back and covered Dr. King with my own body as we hit the ground, because today, this is the only damn Jesus I'm willing to die for, and I can hear the screams coming from across the streets again. "You better run, nigga." So I run. I run until I find myself in the middle of an intersection. It's September 7, 1996. The day Tupac is being followed by entourage, eyewitness, and everyone claimed not to see it. So I ran alongside the passenger side and put Tupac out, so Suge Knight was the only motherfucker to get hit, and I can hear them streams again. "You better run, nigga." So I run. I run so fast in a split second, 6 months had passed, only for me to ride back in LA, and enough time to push Biggie out the last gun blast. And as I'm lying here with this hot lead in my ass, I'm thinking, oh God, at last, I ain't gotta run no more. I ain't gotta be nobody's nigga no more.
I remember those days when I didn't want summer to end. Staying up late, talking on the phone with my friends. Those were the days. But now I'm in such a rush to get to school. I gladly walked that 5-mile walk with my stomach grumbling. Ever since my mom lost her job, it's like I had to take any opportunity I can to eat. No, that was a lie. Ever since she was fired from her job is more like it. They had the power to just take that away from her. But my education, no one's gonna be able to just take that away from me.
Excited for your first day of high school?
Gotta be, I know you are.
What's wrong?
Destiny, what's going on?
How can I put this? You're the coffee, and you're the cream.
What are you talking about?
What am I?
What kind of a question is that, honey?
What I'm trying to say is, I don't know who I am. I mean, I don't know my identity. Like, the black people don't accept me, the white people don't accept me.
Listen. Before people can accept you, you have to accept who you are. And believe in who you are. And accept and understand who you are. And if people can't accept you for who you are, then they're not worth your time, darling.
And may not have all those answers right now. That's what this time is for. This is when you put your best foot forward and you decide who you want to be. You don't let anybody else tell you where you fit. This is when you show people a confident, intelligent young woman. And you find out who you want to be. Come on, you can do this.
Come on. It starts with the first step.
Yo, Destiny. Destiny, come on. Come on.
Man, I hate Miss Dickens.
Everybody hates Miss Dickens. She trash. I had her last year. I ain't got her this year.
I'm tired of her, man.
You know she gave me a D on that 15-page paper.
Y'all talking about Miss
That paper that you turned in late?
Miss Dickens, stop speaking up on me.
I emailed you and I told you my situation, so I understand.
Yes, I remember that email. And if I remember correctly, it was, Miss Dickens, I'm just not really feeling it today. So can I please, oh please, turn in my paper 5 days late?
Well, it was 15 pages.
That's true. I mean, Miss Dickens, you just grade all your black students so hard. It's really not. How we gonna pass? We can't graduate.
You're right. I do grade you hard. And it has everything to do with race.
Very racist.
Do you know what happens when you walk out those doors? People look at you, and by the color of your skin, they determine how far they think you're going to go. But when I look at you, I see greatness.
Like Martin Luther King.
Better than Martin Luther King.
Like Malcolm X.
Even better than Malcolm X. You all have to understand that you can go further beyond all of those men and women. But I'm not going to let you sit in the back of my class. I'm not going to let you turn in my papers late, Janeshia. I'm not going to let you text. I'm not going to let you stand in front of me and make weird faces while I'm talking. I'm going to push you. And because I push you, you are going to be better students and better people for it. Now, you can stand out here in this courtyard and complain and complain and complain, or we can get this semester started. Come on, let's go. Putting forth this semester. On December 1st in the FSU ballrooms, we're going to be having our annual comedy show. You should come out. It is going to be hilarious. But thank you so much for coming out and supporting. We love you guys, and I'm going to hand it over to my co-director.
Okay, so thank y'all. Thank you for coming out again. I just want to say that this is my first show that I'm directing, and this show is dedicated to my mom, who passed away in February. So thank you for coming.